Clutching that numbness tight around me like a blanket, I finally looked up, giving in to my morbid curiosity. My footsteps didn't falter as I took in the scene before me, though a sliver of fear finally pierced my heart. Over 50 Dakari Horde warriors lined the entrance of our village. Beyond the gate, I spied the creatures they rode across the plains of Dakar, with their black scales and large talons, gold swirls painted over their wide flanks. The warriors looked like primitive beings from old legends, scarred and strong and unyielding. Then I saw him, the one who I knew I would answer to, the one who I knew would order my execution. A Horde King of Dakar. He sat on the back of his black beast, the only one not outside the walls of the village. It stamped its clawed talons into the earth, restless in the silence, billowing up dust, though its master remained as still as the mountains in the distance. Towering over his horde warriors, towering over me, there was no denying the unbridled power that rolled off his body in waves. His chest was bare, his skin golden from the sun. Lines, swirls, and words in a language I could not understand decorated his flesh in deep golden ink, shimmering in the early light. I traced the line of one, which started at his shoulder blade, ran down the length of his sculpted chest, and disappeared into the loose, tanned hide he wore, which covered his genitals. A long, dark tail jutted behind him. When the black-scaled creature turned slightly, I saw the base of it was decorated in 3 gold clasps, similar to the cuffs he wore around his wide wrists. Then I finally met the Horde King's eyes. They were gray. Unlike human eyes, Dakari eyes were pitch black with only a ring of color for their irises. Most were gold or red, but his were gray. That wasn't all that was unusual about him. Dark blonde hair spilled just past his shoulders. Blonde hair was rare, even among humans, at least in our village. On Dakari? Well, I'd never seen a Dakari with hair that color. He was handsome, I noted. It was a fact, like his blonde hair or his gray eyes. His jaw was sharply sculpted, the bridge of his nose flat, his proud cheekbones high. His eyes were unreadable as I looked into them, though he studied me as I studied him. His beauty meant nothing. Kier was handsome as well, but he was cruel. This Horde King was beautiful, yet he would kill me. I was strange and ugly, and I was about to die. It didn't matter. Nothing did. For the first time, I thought that perhaps I should fear the Dakari more than I feared humans. A Dakari male stepped between us, breaking my gaze from the Horde King, though he hovered just on the edge of my periphery.
"Drop your weapon, Vakiri,"
the male said, his voice raspy and cold. His eyes were ringed in red, not gray.
"Unless you intend to use it."
I blinked, not sure if I was more surprised that he spoke the universal tongue or that I was clutching my last arrow in my palm, unable to remember when I grabbed it. Staring down at it, I looked at the pitiful thing. Grounder blood still decorated the tip, and I remembered the second grounder that had looked up at me last night from its burrow. Those 3 eyes, dark and silent and frozen. As for the shimmering feathers at the end of the shaft, I ran my fingers over them, feeling their tickling softness, remembering the creature they'd come from. I'd called her Blue. I found her with a broken wing in the dark forest one summer, long ago. I'd brought her home, fed her pieces of my meals, and she lived with me for many years until I found her dead one morning without warning. I'd cried for hours. It had been after Jana had died, and Blue had made me feel a little less alone. I hadn't cried since. Before I dropped the arrow at his feet, I plucked Blue's feathers from the end of the shaft and kept them tightly squeezed in my palm. Then I looked up, tilting my head back to the sky.
to keep listening to this audiobook. I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.